start with Pershing. Secretary General, please.
Anantapur Constituency. Would you like to take oath or affirmation? In which language you prefer? Proceed.
I, Soumya, have been elected a member of House of the People, do swear in the name of God solemnly, affirm that I will be true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India, as well I establish that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
From Tirupati Constituency. Would you like to take oath or affirmation? In which language you prefer? Proceed.
I, Harshita, have been elected member of the House of People, do swear in the name of God, solemnly affirm that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India, as well as establish that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duty which I am about to enter.
From Chittoor Constituency. Would you like to take oath or affirmation? In which language you prefer? Proceed.
I, Harshita, having been elected a member of the House of People, do swear in the name of God, solemnly affirm that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India, as well as establish that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duty upon which I am about to enter.
From Karur Constituency. Would you like to take oath or affirmation? In which language you prefer? Proceed.
I, Vishnupriya, have been elected a member of House of People, do swear in the name of God, affirm that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of as well as establish it, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
From Guntur Constituency. Would you like to take oath or affirmation?
I'd like to take one.
In which language you prefer?
I prefer it.
Proceed.
I, Kavita, have been elected a member of the House of People, do swear in the name of God, solemnly affirm that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India, as by law established, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
From Kadapa Constituency. Would you like to take oath or affirmation? In which language you prefer? Proceed.
I, Pawan Kumar, having been elected a member of House of the People, do swear in the name of Swami, affirm that I will bear the faith allegiance to the Constitution of India as the law established, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duty upon I am about to enter. Thank you.
From Srikalkulam Constituency. Would you like to take oath or affirmation? In which language you prefer? Proceed.
I, Jabili, having been elected a member of House of People, do swear in the name of God, affirm that I will bear true faith, allegiance to the Constitution of India, as well as establish it, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, that I will faithfully discharge the duty upon which I am about to enter.
Will you take oath or affirmation?
I choose oath.
In which language you prefer?
I would like to choose English.
Proceed.
I, Sarita, having been elected a member of the House of People, do swear in the name of God, affirm that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution India as being law by established, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duty upon I am about to enter.
Rajampeta constituency. Would you like to take oath or affirmation? In which language you prefer? Proceed.
I, Ujjwala, having been elected a member of House of People, do swear in the name of God, solemnly affirm that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established. I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duty upon which I am about to enter.
The question starts. Honorable Madam Speaker, however, individuals who are planning to consider should also to get some of the disadvantages before investing. For example, there is a high rate of interest in this scheme. What explanation is given by the ruling party for this statement? MPG. Madam Speaker, there is nothing that the opposition members have said. The rate of interest is 8.5% as the basis of their needs. The interest rate on the total amount is given for the account holder. Here the account holder is benefited with this scheme. And so I will repeat the scheme again for them. Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana is a saving scheme that is especially designed for the welfare of the girl child. It was introduced by the Ministry of Finance and launched by Honorable Prime Minister Sri Yoshida Ji on 22nd January 2015 as a part of Beti Bachao and Beti Padhao campaign. The objective of the Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana is to ensure the financial independence of women by encouraging them to invest in a savings scheme that would enable them to fulfill their long-term goals, dreams like higher education, marriage, etc. and ensure financial stability. The Government of India has made the Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana easily accessible to the people to enabling them to open at any post office. One can also open a Sukanya Samriddhi account.
Please, Formality, let them continue first.
Please let me continue, madam.
Please, the speakers are explaining now.
Please, the maturity age is too long in this scheme. What the solution is given by the ruling party? For this only we have introduced up to 50% of amount can be withdrawn at the age of 18 years. While the account holder has to pay towards Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana savings scheme for 14 years, the investment reaches its maturity term after 21 years. Since the date it was issued, the government enables the flexibility of the savings scheme account to be transferred from one bank to another bank or one post office to another post office. And the features of Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana savings scheme is Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana savings scheme authorizes parents to the girl child or legal guardians. In the absence of parents to open an account, parents are eligible for holding two accounts under the Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana savings scheme for two girl child, while twin resulting in three girl child allows parents to hold maximum 3 accounts. The account can be closed permanently on the ultimate death of the account holder. The minimum amount of Rs 250 has to be paid every year to prevent the account from getting deactivated. Deposits towards Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana savings scheme can be made in the form of check, demand draft, cash, etc. The account holder of the Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana savings scheme can be
Speaker, please first let your turn.
Let me continue, ma'am.
Please first let them continue.
Let me continue my question, madam. By this scheme, there is no use of short-term investor to get money. What the explanation is given by the ruling party? First, let me continue what I am saying and listen first what I am saying and you may ask questions. Deposits towards Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana savings can be made in the form of check, demand draft or cash. The account holder of Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana savings can withdraw up to 50% of amount after reaching 18 years of age. Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana account matured after 21 years. Since the issuance of the account or the day of her marriage, whenever it occurs earlier. The tax benefits. Apart from assuring the financial security of the account holder, Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana offers tax benefits under Section 80C of the Income Tax Act 1961. The maximum limit of the tax exemption that can be valid up to Rs 1,50,000, which is the limit applicable for all the investments. And the maturity benefits of this is the account balance that the girl child is eligible for some of the total principal amount deposited in the account. that can be accrued interest in the principal amount. The amount is directly payable to the account holder whom the account was opened.
Honorable Madam Speaker, please approve by me. Let us continue first.
Madam Speaker, you are giving much preference and time to only the ruling party. Let me continue, ma'am.
As a speaker, I know the rules and regulations. Please be seated.
Please let me continue, ma'am. What we put the situation at the time of emergency period of a girl child. Whenever the girl child needs the money for the purpose of education or for the purpose of healthcare, they don't get the money even at the critical situation of the life of a girl child. That means the money is given to neither her nor his parents after or before her death. There is no proper planning of Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana.
This depends on the girl child, not for their parents' needs. So, if the account holder is died due to any case, the money which is in that account will be used for any the poor who had not enough money for their education or marriage. And the premature withdrawals. The Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana reaches its maturity when the account holder reaches 21 years of age. Through deposits can be made into the account for 14 years from the date of its issue. The account ceases to exist when the girl child reaches 21 years or get married. Whenever event occurs earlier, you need to make sure that she is at least 18 years of age at the date of her marriage to be able to withdraw the balance amount from the Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana account. However, a partial withdrawal of maximum 50% of the account balance can be withdrawn only for the purpose of her financing higher education. And the main aim of the Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana savings scheme is to empower the girl child in India by enabling her to achieve her ambitions, ensuring her financial independence. Thank you.
Harshita. Most of the ineligible candidates get benefited with Prime Minister Awas Yojana. The government is not at all concerned about the people who are in acute poverty. There were many defaults in Prime Minister Awas Yojana, and when it comes to subsidies, there are no words for me to explain the frauds which has been done by them. Is this Awas Yojana or fraud Yojana? What explanation is given by the government for these statements?
Harshita. Honorable Madam, there is no frauds happened in our scheme. Preventing of frauds is the name of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana scheme. Honorable Madam, being as a people representative, they should not use unparliamentary language. Already, you people have done frauds. So you are talking, we have done frauds. You are the ones who have more awareness on doing frauds. Honorable Madam, in our government, we introduced Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana scheme on 5th June 2015. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation is the apex authority of Government of India at national level to formulate policies, sponsor and support programs, coordinate the activities of various central ministries, state governments and other nodal authorities, and monitor the programs concerning all the issues of urban employment, poverty and housing in the country. This is eligible for who are below poverty line. The ministry was constituted on 13th May 1952.
But Madam Speaker,
Please give them some time. They are explaining the situation.
let me continue, ma'am.
Please give some time for them. Why you are rising all the
Let me
time?
continue my question, Madam Speaker. But in our state, many frauds happen. What explanation is given by the ruling party?
Let me continue first. After I can say your question. Renamed as Ministry of Works and Housing when a separate Ministry of Supplies came up. The name of the ministry was changed to Ministry of Urban Development in September 1985 in recognition was changed of the importance of urban issues. With the creation of a separate Department of Urban Employment and Poverty Alleviation on 8 March 1995, the ministry came to be known as the Ministry of Urban Affairs and Employment. The ministry has two departments. Department of Urban Development and Department of Urban Employment and Poverty Alleviation. The two departments were again merged on 9 April 1999 and in consequence thereto. The name has also been restored to the Ministry of Urban Development. The ministry was bifurcated into two ministries. Ministry of Urban Development.
How many times I will instruct you? Let them some time.
Let me continue, Madam Speaker.
The ruling party learned to make yojanas in a default manner, which was a lot of struggle to the people. When our parliament is known for formation of government and representation, the ruling party made it as collection from government and only presentation, but no representation. What is the answer for you?
Honorable unparliamentary language being as a people representative. There is no false being in our schemes. The ministry was bifurcated into two ministries, Ministry of Urban Development and Ministry of Urban Employment with effect from 16/10/1999. These two ministries were again merged into one ministry on 27/5/2000 and named as Ministry of Urban Development and Poverty Alleviation. From 27/5/2004, the ministry has been bifurcated into two ministries known as Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation is headed by Sri M. Venkaiah Naidu Garu, Minister of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation. The Honorable Minister joined on 28/5/2014. Mrs. Nandita Chatterjee is the Secretary of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation. She is assisted by 3 joint secretaries. By the year 2050, the country's urban population is set to reach a population of more than 814 million people. This is an increase of about 400 million from current levels. While the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana scheme is clear about its goals, affordable housing for all people by 2022, it has ensured that the benefits of the scheme were enjoyed by women, economically backward groups of Indian society and the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. The project is aimed for urban areas with following components, options to states, union territories and cities. Slum rehabilitation of slum dwellers with participation of private developers using land as a resource. Promotion of affordable housing for weaker sections through credit-linked subsidy. Affordable housing in partnership with public and private sectors and subsidy for beneficiary-led individual house construction or enhancement. Future of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana scheme is interest subsidy of 6.5% on housing loan will be provided for 15 years to the beneficiaries. Older and differently abled persons will be given preference in the allotment of ground floors under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana scheme. Eco-friendly and sustainable technologies will be used during the construction process. Thanking you.
Honorable Madam Speaker, the Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme became infamous for its fund allocation, according to the data submitted by the Minister of the State for Women Child Development Virendra Kumar in January 2019. It was found that 56% of the funds allocated under the scheme from 2014-15 to 2019-20 was just spent on media and advertisements. What the explanation is given by the ruling party for this statement? Honorable Madam Speaker, as the opposition party members have stated, there is no such thing. And as you know that publicity is also important to provide awareness among the people, and everyone should know that there is a scheme so-called Beti Bachao Beti Padhao which helps the girl child a lot. So that's the only reason we have allocated funds to the media, and that too in a very limited way. So whatever funds we have allocated to the scheme, that is only to develop the scheme only. So coming to the Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme, I would like to recollect what are all the responsibilities of the scheme. So this Beti Bachao Beti Padhao is a campaign that is launched by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Yoshida Ji to provide awareness regarding the girls' education and combat the declining trend of the child sex ratio. And it was launched with the initial funding of ₹100 crore at Panipat, Haryana on January 22nd, 2015. And while coming to the objectives, the overall theme of this Beti Bachao Beti Padhao Yojana Speaker.
She is explaining the why you are involving with
Let me continue my speech, madam. Lack of policy implementation, failure of monitoring mechanisms are some of the defaults in this scheme. What's the explanation given by them? Madam Speaker, the opposition party are so jealous of the scheme and are so jealous of the implementation we have brought in the scheme and so jealous of the popularity the scheme has got in the people. There are no defaults in this, there are no faults in the scheme, and this scheme is a 100% successful scheme with 0 defaults. And while coming to the objectives, the first one is to address the issue of the declining trend of the child sex ratio, and to promote the development of a holistic environment for girl empowerment, and to promote girl education without any discrimination, and to prevent gender-biased sex-selective elimination of girl child, and to prevent sex-selective abortion, and to put a stop on child marriages and dowry practices, and to ensure the survival and protection of the girl child, and eradicate evils like female foeticide and female infanticide, and to focus on gender-critical districts and improve the CSR, and to celebrate the birth of girl child and appreciate her contribution in our lives, and to break the gender stereotypes of the Indian society. And while coming to the targets, but Madam Speaker,
Please listen with patience.
let me continue, Madam. As the opposition said that there are 0% defaults, but there are about 7.3% of female child laborers in our country before under the age of 6 to 14 years. They are saying such stupid information that there are no defaults in the scheme. I think the full scheme is about defaults. There are no faults in the scheme, and this is a 100% successful scheme. You are not giving me time to explain about the scheme, and next I'm going to explain about the targets. They have to be patient and listen to what I am saying. And coming to the targets, the first target is to improve the sex ratio at birth in gender critical districts by 2 points in a year, and to reduce gender gap in the 5-child mortality rate from 7 points in 2014 to 1.5 points per year, and to increase the institutional deliveries by at least 1.5% increase per year, and to increase the enrollment of girls in secondary education to 100% by 2021 to 22, and to provide a functional toilet for girls in every school in selected districts, and to improve the nutritional status of the girls, and to ensure the universalization of ICDS and improve girls' attendance, and to mobilize communities and improve their CSR, and promote the girls' education. While coming to the conclusion, given that Madam Speaker, the literacy rate, net attendance rate of the children is very less. If the net attendance rate is decreases, there is no use of Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme. Madam Speaker, there is a sentence called that walls also have ears, but I think they are deaf. Body present, but mind absent. Because I have already stated the target, and I have also already stated that use unparliamentary language as a member of legislature.
You can't do the please stop.
There is no unparliamentary language I have used, Madam Speaker. I am saying the truth, I am saying the fact. Then, while coming to the conclusion, given that the Indian mindset was falling off the charts in the sphere of gender development, this BBPP scheme was a much-needed intervention for sustainable growth of the concept of whole-round approach to the development of girl children, but it also focused on addressing the concerns of equitable gender growth. And the scheme further allows the local administration to come out with innovative and flexible mode of execution under it, which is a very healthy way of encouraging participative management in a democracy like us. And results and ground reality show that there has been a significant change in the behavioral attitude of people towards the girl child now. And if the Indian society continues to maintain the same vigor towards imparting girl child the better environment to live in, it will surely become a land of balanced gender growth. So that's all about the BBPP scheme, Madam.
And as Speaker, you are giving much time to the ruling party. Is it fair for you to do that? It is not there. As a Speaker, the rules and regulations are following. Please be seated in your place.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. That's all about it.
Sarita.
The Honorable Madam Speaker, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan has turned into Corruption Shiksha Abhiyan to the ruling party.
All the amount released on this Abhiyan is eaten by the ruling party, whereas this led to less literacy rate and caused child labor in more our country. They are making our people to blindfolded, and they are saying that they have done everything right. Is it fair for them?
Soumya.
Honorable Speaker, ma'am, there was no corruption happened in our scheme. We invested all our money to implement the schools and to give good education to the children. If there is any proof that corruption was happening in my scheme, I want to look at ministry. It is my challenge to the opposition. First, let me explain about the scheme, what it is all about. Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is Government of India flagship program for achievement of in a type-bound manner as mandated by 86 Amendment to the Constitution of India, making free and compulsory education to children 6 to 14 years age group a fundamental right. SSA is being implemented in partnership with state governments to cover the entire country and address the needs of 1.2 million people in 1.1 million habitations. The program aims to open new schools in those habitations which do not have schooling facilities and strengthen existing school infrastructure. The provision of additional classrooms, drinking water, toilets, maintenance vans, and human trash. Existing schools with inadequate teachers are provided.
How many times I should instruct you? Please don't do that.
Please let me continue with my question, madam. There are no proper facilities in the government school, whereas the own party members are making their children to study in the private school instead of the government school. And there are no 60% and 60% of the children are sitting in one classroom. And whereas no 50% of the schools do not have boundary walls. Do they have any explanations for all these defaults?
If they will have proof, show to me. If it is correct, I am going to resign my ministry. It is my open challenge to the ruling party. Existing schools with identified teachers are provided with additional teachers, but the capacity of existing teachers is being strengthened by extensive training grants for learning, teaching materials, or strengthening of the academic support structure at the cluster, block and district level. Mainly, this SSA to provide quality elementary education, including life skills. SSA has a special focus on girls' education, including life skills. SSA household speaks to provide education, computer education to the PR and DGE, the digital divide. Thank you. That's all about it.
Sarita.
Honorable Madam Speaker, as the COVID cases are increasing day by day, the government seems to have no concern about the people. The companies, especially the small and medium ones, are staring at nil revenues and cash flows due to COVID, and this led to a massive unemployment, in which the government never had a concern about. Will the government be at least responsible now? And what is the government staring at when the situations are costing the life of the people?
Honorable Madam Speaker, nothing has happened as the opposition party has told us. They don't know how we are struggling for the people, and they are saying all this matter only to criticize us. But as the Prime Minister of India at the time of February 2020, after every cabinet meeting, I used to tell that virus and infection will not stop in China. We prepared ourselves to face the virus, and we realized how grave the situation could turn to be. From that day, we started implementing new plans to prepare India to fight against the pandemic. At the first of the situation, we conducted Janata curfew to control the virus, and we completed it very successfully. At the evening of Janata curfew, we appreciated the doctors by ringing the bell for their efforts. After that, we recognized the impact of lockdown and conducted lockdown for the prevention of infection. Lockdown was strictly conducted by the police, and we supplied all the facilities to the people. Today, we have nearly 700 dedicated COVID-19 hospitals with more than 2 lakh isolation beds and 15,000 intensive care unit beds.
Adhyaksha,
Please stop. Let give them a chance. They are explaining the situation.
నా క్వశ్చన్ ని చెప్పనీయండి. లాక్డౌన్ లో 1,03,008 మంది ప్రజలు ఇంటికే పరిమితమయ్యారు. సుమారుగా 7 లక్షల ప్రజలు తమ ఉద్యోగాలని కోల్పోయారు. అంచనా మేరకు 3,008 లక్షల కోట్లు రోజు మనం నష్టపోతున్నాం. పరిస్థితుల నుండి బయటపడడానికి చాలా సమయం పడుతుంది. కానీ ఇది మాకు ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ ఇవ్వకపోయినా కనీసం ప్రజల కన్నా ఇవ్వాలి కదా.
Honorable Speaker, they are not listening to my words correctly, and the lives of the people are more important than the work of the people. I am continuing my speech. Today we have nearly 700 dedicated COVID-19 hospitals with more than 2 lakh isolation beds and 15,000 intensive care unit beds. We facilitated the PPE kits and other equipments to the doctors and the staff who treat COVID-19 patients. Due to unavailability of PPE kits, we imported them from other countries. Now we have 39 factories in India to manufacture and stitch PPEs. Many new factories started working on N95 masks. We provided rapid kits and ventilators, etc. Due to this panic situation, we connected with the world and talked to various leaders and shared our ideas and experiences to control the infection. In this panic situation, so many people struggled due to poverty and hunger. We declared a huge package of 1.7 crore to the poor for April, May and Speaker.
Please stop. Let her continue.
Madam, you're being so partial to the ruling party, madam.
How can you say that? As a speaker, I have the rules and regulations and I'm following that.
Please let me continue with my question, madam. As the Prime Minister said, there are nearly 700 dedicated hospitals, according to them, because they are leaving their minds to fly. They forgot that they are in the parliament. Let me tell you, there are not that many hospitals, because there is a deficient of infrastructure of hospitals, deficient of manpower, unmanageable patient load, equivocal quality of expenditure, and high out-of-pocket expenditure. When it comes to the high out-of-pocket expenditure, a common man cannot bear up the expenditure based on the imposed by the government on the common man. Can the government give any explanation at least to the people? Speaker, I think their sensor phones are not working properly. And without any proof, how could they say like that? How could they say like that? And really, we have 700 dedicated COVID-19 hospitals with more than 2 lakh isolation beds and 15,000 intensive care unit beds. And we prepared, due to deficiency of infrastructure, we prepared cinema halls and hotels also as quarantine centers. And for April, May and June, we gave 15 cases rice or wheat and 3 cases dal freely per person. Around 200 million women were provided support through the direct benefit transfer scheme of 500 rupees per month for 3 months in their Jan Dhan account. Further, under the PM Kisan scheme, 2,000 was transferred to 84 million farmers. The RBI has also released liquidity of 4 lakh rupees crore through various measures in repo rate. The center gave 15,000 crore for dedicated treatment of COVID-19 and released 11,000 crore as state disaster relief fund. And we also gave permission to the private hospitals to take care of COVID-19 patients. We gave some rules and regulations that had to be followed by the people. In this panic situation, many people suffered due to unavailability of transportation. So many coolies and workers remained in other states. We also provided transportation to those who reached their own states. And we created awareness in the minds of the people through radio.
Please, as a member of parliament, you can't do that.
నన్ను చెప్పనీయండి. వలస కార్మికులను ఇంటికి పంపించడం గురించి మాట్లాడితే వాళ్ళు మీడియా ముందు షో ఆఫ్ కోసం మాత్రమే కొంతమందిని పంపించారు. ఇంకా చాలా మంది తామే స్వయంగా నడుచుకుంటూ వాళ్ళ ఇంటికి వెళ్ళారు. ఇంకా ఎంత చెప్పినా ఇవి చేసాం, అవి ఉన్నాయి అంటున్నారు. ఏమున్నాయి? వాళ్ళ ఇంటికి కరెక్ట్ ఉందా?
Madam Speaker, that using unparliamentary language that should be strictly prohibited. And as you know that lives of the people cost so much than the work and the money.
Okay, it should be removed from the record.
Thank you.
And so many coolies and laborers remained in other states. We also provided transportation to those who reached their own states. We created awareness in the minds of the people by radios and through news about Mann Ki Baat to fight against the pandemic. Like this, we facilitated all the facilities to the people, and then the lockdown was announced. The cases were increased day by day. At the time of November, the cases were getting down. Even though the doctors are still working for the people, and vaccination burn and also too has started. Don't believe the rumors created by the haters.
Please stop. How many times has it been said? You can't do that. You can't.
At present situation, there are many questions raised among the people about the negative impacts of vaccine. There are even deaths occurred after the vaccination. What do you say about this?
Madam Speaker, there are no side effects of the vaccinations and there are no deaths occurred by the vaccinations. How can they say blindfoldedly that there are that deaths occur due to the vaccination. Do they have any proof? We can also blindly argue that there are no deaths occur due to the vaccine.
Dear Madam Speaker, it's scientifically proved that there are deaths among it due to vaccination. There are many side effects such as headache, malaria, chills, and fever. What do they say about this?
Honorable Speaker, they said that vaccination causes death. And the deaths causes by the vaccination, the people who had health issues before the vaccination, those people only died due to vaccination. That too in a limited way. And vaccination is completely safe to the people. And while the vaccination, doctors say instructions to the people that have to be followed by the people. And don't believe the rumors created by the haters. Vaccination is completely safe. So everyone should follow the rules and regulations given by the government. And we recognize that each and everyone who ever have participated in this war without rest. We have to applaud doctors, police, healthline workers and frontline workers for their sacrifices. So many doctors and health workers died due to the infection. We saluted all of them and for their efforts and sacrifices. We have to applaud even the soldiers also. Even in this panic situation, they sacrificed their lives for our country. And we will be very thankful to all of them. On today, I am promising that I will stand support to all the families of soldiers and doctors and through our government. I am promising now. And we will be very thankful to all of them. Thank you.
The Finance Minister introduced the budget.
Honorable Speaker, I present the budget of year 2021 to 22. Honorable Speaker, the preparation of this budget was undertaken in circumstances like never before. We knew of calamities that have affected a country or a region with a country. But what we have endured with COVID-19 through 2020, when I presented the budget 21, we could not have imagined that the global economy already in throes of a slowdown. We would be pushed into an unprecedented contraction. We would not also have imagined that our people who has other countries would have to endure the loss of near and dear ones and suffer hardships brought due to health crisis. The risk is not having a lockdown is too far high. Within 48 hours of declaring a 3-week-long complete lockdown, the Prime Minister announced the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana valued at 2.76 lakh crores. This provided free food grain to 800 million people, free cooking gas for 80 families per month, and cash directly over 400 million farmers, women, elders, the poor and the needed. Even a large section of citizens stayed at home, milk, vegetable and fruit suppliers, health and sanitary workers, truck drivers, railway and public transport workers, bank employees, electricity workers and our annadatas, police, firemen and armed forces. And all had to about their work as normal. But with the additional anxiety of the virus hanging over them, we recognize this and I think I speak on behalf of everybody in the August House. When I express my heartfelt gratitude to these men and women for how they were capable of out there working on duty to provide their nation basics over the crucial months. Speaker Ma'am, honorable members of the Parliament and legislative members too offered their salary. In May 2020, the government announced the Atmanirbhar package to sustain the recovery further into a year. We also rolled out 2 more Atmanirbhar packages. Total financial impact of all Atmanirbhar packages, including measures taken by RBI, was estimated about 2.71 lakh crores, which amounts to more than 30% of GDP. As government, we kept a watch on situation and were proactive in our responses. The government, led by Prime Minister, stretched its resources to deliver the most vulnerable sections of our society. The poorest of the poorest, the Dalits, tribal, the elder, the migrant workers and our children. The Atmanirbhar package accelerated our pace of structural reforms. Redefinition of MSMEs, commercialization of mineral sector, agriculture and laboral reforms, privatizations of public sector undertakings. One nation, one ration card and production-linked incentive schemes are some of the notable reforms carried out during this period. Faceless income tax, assessment, DPD and financial illusion are others. Today, India has 2 vaccines available and began medically safeguarding not only our citizens against COVID-19, but also those of 100 or more countries. It is added comfort to know that 2 or more vaccines are also expected soon. Honorable Prime Minister launched the vaccination drive by crediting and thanking our scientists. We are ever grateful for the strength.
Madam Speaker,
Finance question, you can't involve in it. Please stop.
please madam, we do have finance to deal too.
Please be seated in your place.
Please madam, actually in Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, 1,671 crores should be allotted, whereas 18,000 crore is not allotted. So, do they have any explanation for these questions, madam?
Let me continue my budget and later I will answer my question. Having said that, we are all remembered time and again to fight against COVID-19 continuously into 2021. Now, just as it had happened after the 2 World Wars, there is signs that political, economic and strategic relations in the post-COVID-19 world are changing. This movement in history is dawn on new era, one in which India is well positioned to truly the land of promise and hope. Today, data shows that India now has one of the lowest debt rate of 112 per million population and one of the lowest active case of about 130 per million. This has laid the foundation for the reveal we are seeing now in economy. This budget will be the first of new decade. This budget will be a digital budget and has happened with all our support. So far, only 3 times has budget followed on contraction in the economy. All such contractions were a result of situation typical India. This time, the contraction in our economy is due to global pandemic, just like several other countries. Having said that, I want to congratulate the state our government is fully prepared to support and facilitate the economy reset. This budget provides very opportunity of economy to raise the capture of pace and it needs for sustainable growth. Thank you.